Over $5 million worth of big auction sales in the past week, a major Topps Now card redesign, the most expensive Pokemon card on planet Earth, and a Cheeto shaped just like a Charizard set to break records. You heard me right on that one. But it's blast off for this week, and what's going on, YouTube? Hope you had a good weekend. And welcome back to the Hollywood Rip Studio for this week's episode of the Hobby Headquarters, your one-stop shop for all news, hobby, sports card, and memorabilia related. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Hollywood. Unfortunately, Joe Nasty has COVID this week, so we're a one-man show for you for now. But a lot of news to cover, so let's hop right into it for this week, starting with Topps Now. Topps Now has a new redesign. They released a new base design for the cards. We'll put that on your screen now so you can see the new base design. They are also adding foiling, especially for the parallels. Now, this is what I would classify as a major redesign, although they have foiling in virtually every other product they make for some of the bigger cards and whatnot. Even for some of the base cards, they have foiling. But the big deal here is it includes superfractor gold foiling on one of ones, that sort of gold circle design that's been going on one of one superfractors for a long time. We're now going to have chrome and opal chrome parallels available to $99 and $50, and print runs that have 500,000 or more cards ordered will have white opal superfractor one of ones. I think all of this is great. I think these are all big improvements for Topps Now. I like the upgrades. This is definitely an upgrade. So good job to Topps on that one. But for me, the problem is still the price. Excuse me, I'm still recovering a little bit from my sinus procedure. But the problem for me is still the price. Like, you're paying 12 bucks, 13 bucks, 14, 15 bucks with shipping for one card, essentially. And in terms of the big releases, this is still the worst value in the entire hobby of sports cards. Like, I mean, Topps isn't going to reduce the price because people are still buying them like crazy. But guys, if you really think about it, paying $15 after tax and shipping and getting in all likelihood, you have over a 99.9% chance of getting a base card. It's actually, for the big releases, like the 50-50 Topps Now card and the LeBron, Steph, Durant Olympics card, you actually had a 99.9998% chance of getting a base card out of that for your $15. And if you do the math, and let's say those base cards that are printed to the moon that are like 500, 600,000 copies, whatever, let's just humor me for a second and say that card's worth 25 cents, your base card that you paid $15 for. What is that in terms of ROI, return on investment? For those of you who aren't good at math, and I'm not either, I had to plug this into a calculator, but that is an average 1.67% return on investment. And that's being generous, that someone's going to give you 25 cents for that base card, right? Because let's be honest, someone offered me 25 cents for a base card, I probably wouldn't take it just because I don't want a quarter. I don't want a coin. Like, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys still use coins. I don't use coins anymore. But the bottom line is there just isn't a product out there that has a worse ROI average than Topps Now, period. End of story. It is what it is. I love that they're improving it. They got to improve the value proposition part of it now. Topps Series 1 Tokyo set. Moving on, Topps announced the release of, as I said, the Tokyo set. It's going to release exclusively in Japan and feature Dodgers and Cubs players, as well as Japanese MLB legends like Hideki Matsui. At least that was what was teased in Topps' Instagram post. I think this is a cool commemorative item. Some of the bigger cards I think are going to do really, really well. I don't like that all the previews that we've seen so far have been sticker autographs, though. Like, this is a commemorative set. It's kind of like a one-off. So I guess I understand why they weren't able to get on-card autographs for this. But I think what makes these kind of offshoot sets a little more special is to go the extra mile on them, to get the on-card autograph, not have stickers. Obviously, it's going to be a fun series at the Tokyo Dome, the Cubs and the Dodgers. Who knows how that's going to go early season, having to travel halfway across the world. From what I know, it'll probably be Yamamoto. And Sasaki for the Dodgers, and then the Cubs will probably throw Imanaga, as well as, well, I don't know who their second starter might be for this one. Maybe Justin Steele. We'll see. Curious to know what your predictions are for that Tokyo series. I'm probably going to say it's going to go similar to last year. We just have no idea. Just no idea. I think both teams are going to win games. But moving on to hobby story number 3 for this week, and that is Topps Chrome Football, because Topps Chrome Football released last week, and it's the first time we have had standalone Topps Chrome Football in quite a while. We had like Motif last year or something from Topps, but we haven't seen Topps Chrome Football in a hot minute. It's been a hot 10 years, 9 years, something like that. So I think that's cool. We have seen some Jaden Daniels one-of-one Superfractor autographs hit already. Those are going to be selling for a pretty penny. Again, I am not buying Jaden Daniels stuff right now. It is real crazy high. But as I said before, I really hope that Topps has better designs in the woodwork ready to come out when they have the license to both basketball as well as football. It's great to have Topps Chrome back. I have not been a fan of the design of these cards, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I just don't like the fact that we're basically just reusing all the baseball card inserts and baseball card designs, like the Future Stars cards and the All Etch cards. I get those have been around for a long time. I get it. But to me, Topps Chrome is like one of the most transcendent sets in the hobby, period. It just needs to look better. It needs better inserts, better designs. Everyone knows Panini very well for their kabooms, right? For their downtowns, for their nebulas, there's all these marquee big inserts that people love out of Panini products, and I'll tell you, I think those products, they look great. I'm not a fan of the downtowns anymore. The artwork's horrible. Obviously, they print runned it to the moon. And I'm sure once Topps actually has the license and the money is starting to pour in even more, they'll have even more to invest, I suppose, into the design of some of these cards, or creating some new flagship insert designs for Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome should be, in my opinion, the biggest flagship set out there in any sport. And in order to do that, you have to have a chase card, a unique insert card, besides a one-of-one rookie superfractor of the best prospect in that sport for that year. In my opinion, you just have to. So that, however Topps has to do it, I would like to see better designs for Topps Chrome that really make it what it should be. But moving on to the most expensive auctions in the past week, including one that hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. We'll see when. And I'm talking about Logan Paul. Logan Paul, of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys know, bought that PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator for $5.275 million and wrote that famous IOU. We'll put the picture of the IOU on the screen for you, where it said, "I owe you $4 million. He signed it. I believe he only had $1.275 million in cash or whatever it was at the time. But yeah, he paid $5.275 million. He is looking for over $5 million for the card. Will he get it? I don't know. The Pokemon market has been nuts. It really has been crazy the past 3 months. I do see a very big correction to the Pokemon market coming soon. I just don't know exactly on this being probably the most expensive. This is the most valuable Pokemon card in the world. So the fact that it was owned by Logan Paul, the fact that there's that IOU out there in a PSA slab, the fact that this card has such a rich history now, I could see someone, I could see someone shelling out the 5+ mil for it. I really could. Who knows? Michael Jordan and LeBron James had a 2007 exquisite dual numbers patch autograph, which was serial numbered 23 out of 23. Obviously pretty cool because both of them have worn 23 in their careers. This was a BGS 9.5/10 autograph. That card sold for $492,000 on Fanatics Collect. Unreal patches, there are 3 color patches on both patches. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I could have seen this one going higher than that. I could have seen this one going higher than $492,000, specifically because you have 2 3-color patches. It's rare, obviously, to get a Wemby. We'll talk about Wemby in a second. A Jordan LeBron dual autograph, and to have 3-color patches and serial numbered to 23 out of 23. I think that's a collectible that you can't replace, right? There's only one 23 out of 23. Maybe serial number 6 out of 23 would be pretty cool, representing obviously LeBron's number 6 and Jordan's number 23. But $492K for that bad boy. Moving on, as I said, to Victor Wembanyama and LeBron James. The big dual auto hit out of Topps Mercury, that Rookie of the Year 1/1 autograph Superfractor, yeah, that was found and that was sold for $168,000. I saw this card in person last weekend, actually. Pretty unbelievable card. Although, not the greatest Wemby news in the last week, as some of you guys as probably most of you know already, he does have DVT, deep vein thrombosis. That is a blood clot in your shoulder, in his shoulder, not your shoulder. At least I hope you don't have a blood clot in your shoulder. But I've spoken with some doctors about it, and they have said that prognosis for recovery, for full recovery, is very, very, very high for this one. So I'm not super worried on Wemby. It's a card to watch out for, actually. Watch out, see where the Wemby market goes over the next few months. Could be a buying opportunity, we'll see. But let's keep moving. I told you there was a Cheeto that was shaped like a Charizard. I wasn't kidding. Here it is. It's called the Cheeto-Zard. This is on golden.com right now. And I'm not kidding. The current bid on this is $6,750. That is $8,235 with the buyer's premium. Someone is going to walk away with a Cheeto that's probably really stale, shaped like a Charizard for probably like 10 grand or something. Maybe it goes for more. This is the only one on our list that has not sold yet, aside from the Logan Paul Illustrator Pikachu. We'll update you on this one as it closes. But the biggest Wembanyama card in existence, well, I don't know if it's the biggest in existence. It's one of the top 3 in existence. But the biggest Wembanyama sale ever just happened this past week. His 2023 Prism Choice Nebula 1/1 in a PSA 9 sold for $860,000. That's right, $860,000 the week that he gets diagnosed with a blood clot and is out for the season. I don't know if that collector regrets that or not. We'll see. We'll see if he'll regret it or not. But yeah, biggest Wemby sale. I think it's pretty cool. This breaks the previous record of, I believe it was the Prism Shimmer 1/1, which was also a PSA 9. The True Black 1/1 received a PSA 10, and it is being held right now. It is not for sale. I also have no idea how that card got a 10. It's like horribly off center. But moving on, a 2003-2004 LeBron James Exquisite RPA, numbered 18 out of 23, sold for $1.22 million. I get it. It's like an exquisite RPA, number 23, pretty big deal. But $1.22 million, guys? $1.22 million, and you're debating, people are still debating. Most people, I'd say 8 out of 10 people would tell you that he's not even the greatest of all time in his own sport. For me, that's a little rich for my blood. You know what's also a little rich for my blood is this 1997 Kobe Bryant Skybox EX 2001 Essential Credentials in a BGS 9. That sold for $579,000. I love Kobe. Obviously, I grew up in Los Angeles. He was a huge part of my childhood. But I don't see the Kobe market. The high-end Kobe market, I think, will be fine. I don't see the greater Kobe market in terms of, like his Topps rookie card and stuff like that. I don't see those holding a ton of value. I mean, they spiked like crazy in the year to year and a half after he passed. And since then, it has been a consistent decline for Kobe Bryant stuff ever since then. The high-end stuff has always been super high and is holding somewhat better, somewhat well. But moving on to the 2024 Shohei Ohtani Dynasty Black 1/1 50/50 dual game-used gloves autograph. That was out of that 50/50 commemorative set. I was wondering what it would take to amass these 3 Dynasty Black 1/1s, and we're starting to fill out that picture because this card sold for $173,240. I think that is a very reasonable price, if I'm being totally honest. If I'm being totally honest with you. His 1/1 Superfractor autographs tend to do, well, I mean, I think the last one we saw of flagship was Sapphire, his Sapphire Superfractor autograph from 2018. And that did like high 200,000s, something like that. So for this to do 173, sure, I think it's reasonable. I wonder what the Logo Man's gonna do. I think the Logo Man might triple this. I have no idea. So if that's the case, let's say the Logo Man's 500,000 or 400,000, something like that. It's looking like to assemble all 3 of these Dynasty Black 101s would probably cost you, I don't know, $900,000, something like that. But moving on, a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 7 sold for $457,000. That's pretty cool. Of course, the reason being most of the 1952 Topps set was dumped into the ocean because they couldn't sell it. A 2018-2019 Luka Doncic Gold Prism rookie card in a PSA 10 sold for $341,000. A 1997-98 Skybox Metal Universe Michael Jordan PMG sold for $198,860. A 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle True Rookie card in a PSA 4 that is also autographed by Mickey himself and received an autograph grade of 10 sold for $244,000. The on-card autograph for some of these vintage cards, I'm telling you, it has exploded and it will continue exploding. Why wouldn't you want your vintage card autographed by that player? It's hard enough to have the vintage card itself, let alone be autographed by someone that's not alive anymore. So in my opinion, vintage on-card autographs, crazy, like they're crazy. And they should be the grails of the hobby. They really should be, in my opinion. Speaking of the grail set for the hobby, a 1952 Topps Complete set, including a Mantle PSA 4, sold for $158,600. And a 2018 Shohei Ohtani Topps Chrome Update Superfractor, the 2018 Topps Chrome Update Superfractor rookie card in a PSA 10 sold for $125,660. I think these are all pretty reasonable prices, if I'm being totally honest with you, except to me, the LeBron that did 1.22 million. That was over $5 million in sales that happened in the past 6 days. If we add the Logan Paul Illustrator Pikachu, that would be over $10 million. Are there any of these that are like jumping out at me aside from the Cheeto Zard that someone's paying 10 grand probably for a Cheeto? Pretty crazy. I don't know that I would say any of them like jump out at me as being horrific values or amazing values aside from that LeBron one at 1.22 million. I mean, maybe the Wemby Nebula 1 of 1 at 860K, that surprised me, especially considering the news that has come out this week. Again, I don't know if that bid went in before the news broke or if that was just the bid even after the news broke. I don't know, but that's a lot of money to risk on a guy who probably will not play again until next season, in my opinion. Moving on, though, this is a weird one. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have released a set of trading cards. It has facsimile signatures. There's a Trump alone one, and then there's a dual official inauguration portraits of Trump and Vance with the 2 facsimile autographs. It's slabbed and graded by WCG Grading. I don't really remember the price on this. I want to say it was like, somewhere between 30 and 60 bucks, something like that. I have a few thoughts on it. Number one, I'm not a fan I'm not making this political at all, but I'm just not a fan that our president is trying to make money or like raise money off of this type of thing. To me, like a president's job should be to give back or to like make America great again, right? That's the whole thing for him. Not to like sell trading cards and watches and this and knickknacks, stuff like that. Also, who the heck is WCG Grading? Like maybe PSA, SGC, Beckett, CGC just declined. Arena Club, all declined to partner with this one. But I just thought it was interesting. Like WCG, I've never even heard of them. So I'm going to pass on that one. I just thought it was an interesting story. Not very often does our president release a trading card, but that happened in the past week. But moving on to probably what I think is the coolest F1 card ever made. And that's this Lewis Hamilton 1 of 1 out of Topps Dynasty. It is a patch auto of the gloves he wears when he drives, which for those of you who are unaware, in racing, a lot of what you see is decals. It's not actually part of the car, or it's not actually a real something. And this is an IWC wristwatch. IWC, of course, a luxury wristwatch brand. They specialize in stuff for pilots. So it's stuck on his gloves. And so for me, I think this actually might be the coolest F1 patch I've ever seen. To get the IWC patch off of his gloves is pretty unbelievable, in my opinion. Just thought I had to touch base on that one. What else is in the news? GameStop has announced that they are stopping pre-orders for Pokemon cards for a couple reasons. Number one, to get more people into the store, but also because their allocations are insufficient. If your allocations are insufficient and you stop doing online pre-orders, your stores are just going to be flooded and you're still going to have insufficient allocation. So I don't really understand how this solves a problem, in my opinion, because no one's going into GameStop really anymore and buying games, like video games. And if your card section is always sold out, we have a GameStop down the street from us. they're always sold out of everything Pokemon related. So I really don't see how this solves any problem. I've seen a lot of videos lately of scalpers at like Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club, all those stuff. I've seen videos of employees backdooring cards to friends, whether it's sports cards or Pokemon cards. There's actually a child, and this is sad. There's a child who's in critical condition after he had a fight with a 45-year-old man over boxes of Pokemon cards, like a scalper. And so when this kind of stuff happens, like I think this is why we're getting towards needing more crackdowns on releases, or like better organization of these releases, right? I think it just needs to be one box per customer on release day for any product that is highly sought after. If the product sells out on your website in less than, let's say, 2 hours, okay? Most of them sell out in like a minute, 30 seconds. But I'm talking like the highly sought after products. If that happens, in my opinion, whether it's Pokemon cards or sports cards, if you go to an LCS or a Sam's Club or a Costco, there should be a customer limit of 1. The customer limit shouldn't be 5. It shouldn't be 10. It should be 1, period. And that goes for online, that could go for online releases too. Like, people are getting hurt, guys. Like, kids are getting trampled, kids are getting beaten up by 45-year-olds. You need to understand that this type of behavior is not okay, and it's only being fueled by the fact that we are not releasing these products in a more reasonable way. We are not organizing the release to be safe. That needs to be priority number 1. What else is in the news? The Yankees. The Yankees are allowing their players to grow beards for the first time. Good news for Devin Williams, Garrett Cole, and Alex Verdugo, because I think all 3 of them will have well-groomed beards. They must be well-groomed. I'm interested to see what the line is on well-groomed. But that's big. The Yankees have never allowed that. So props to them for doing that. I think it's about time. Not all traditions like that need to be followed forever. What is our last bit of news in the hobby? Well, this one's kind of an interesting one, but Kim Jong-un, that's right, the president of North Korea has banned North Koreans from watching Tottenham Hotspur games because their captain is Heung-min Son, who is from South Korea. I had a couple reactions to this one. First of which, I'm glad to hear that North Koreans have TVs. Number 2, this is, a lot of people think we have a bad president. Like, man, can you imagine if Trump banned people from watching the Edmonton Oilers because Connor McDavid is from Canada and not the United States? Like, that's kind of what this is like. So this is like an early front runner for Topps How card of the week next week for us. But that'll wrap things up for this week's episode of Hobby Headquarters. Hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It is really appreciated, and it seriously helps us. And feel free to like and comment down below as well. We do reply to your comments. I'm curious to know, let me know which auction sale you were the most surprised by this week. Was it the Cheeto Zard? I don't know. So until next time, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys later this week. Mr. Hollywood, out.